Hey guys, Thunder E here, and today we're checking out the POCO X3 GT. Now, this is the latest device from POCO. Wanted to tell them thank you for sending this over, and it took me a while to crack this. Actually, it really took me a while. But anyway, the latest from POCO. And as you've known this year, POCO has released a ton of new devices out there. And I have to say that I'm impressed with the kind of variants they have. Now, the X3 GT is a very interesting device. It comes with a 6.6-inch display. It is a Full HD Plus display, also 120 Hertz. So we all love that, which means faster touch response time. It's also got 240 Hertz touch sampling, which is great for gaming, as well as also just regular browsing. Speaking of gaming, this is running the MediaTek Dimensity 1100 processor. Now, this is the first time I've experienced this processor, so I'm going to be doing some gaming with it to see how it is. But overall, I think POCO has done a good job with the way this device looks. Speaking of those looks, you have this gradient color. From the bottom, it's black to gray at the back. The camera housing supports a 64 megapixel camera sensor. You also have an ultra-wide camera lens as well, which is pretty nice. Now, this comes with a 5,000 milliamp battery, and it doesn't feel super heavy, which is great. But to top it all off, POCO includes a 67-watt charger, so giving you some really fast charging times. You can expect this to be well under an hour, about 30, maybe even minutes less than that, which is pretty cool with this device. You've got also stereo speakers, so that's actually great, and Dolby Atmos built into it. So I've listed a lot of specs for you, but you're wondering, okay, how does this device feel? Honestly, I've been really impressed with POCO this year. The devices feel comfortable, easy to use. I like the integrated fingerprint sensor in the power button. I think a lot more companies should use that. If you don't want to go with the in-display power fingerprint sensor, which is fine by me. Display looks good. It's very vibrant. It's sharp. In sunlight or outdoors, it's actually pretty good. This is a darker wallpaper I have with Jon Stewart here, but it still looks really good. Now, you've got the hole punch camera in the front, and in terms of camera specs and functionality, very similar to what you find with previous POCO phones. This camera does 4K 30 for the rear and 1080p for the front-facing camera. You've got a plethora of modes. You've got a pro mode, night mode, so on and so forth. I could bore you, but let me just show you some, photo and video samples, and you guys can make some thoughts and decisions there. Okay, so the photos looked good. Daytime photos are sharp and vibrant. I do like that. When it comes to low light photos, it's okay, but for a device like this, I think it's fine. And the video is solid for what it's offering. Now, let's get back to that Dimensity 1100 chipset. We, of course, did some gaming, and we decided to play the games we love to play on this channel. So starting off with Call of Duty Mobile. I was able to do the highest settings, but not every single setting with that. But it still ran well and smooth. Now, I couldn't use my benchmark tool, which is Geek Benchmarks, just because I think this chip is just not available yet. But I was able to read it off the, of course, inbuilt game tools that they do have with all the POCO phones. And it still ran that at 60 FPS, which is nice to see, and it ran well. Now we move over to a game like PUBG Mobile, which can be intensive in terms of performance. Now with PUBG Mobile, I couldn't do Ultra HD Ultra, but I could do Smooth Extreme, which is also a really high level to play at. and playing PUBG Mobile, I got 60 frames per second. Things ran well, ran pretty smooth also. It was a very nice, fluid experience with that, 120 hertz display. Really comes up very, very nice. Now, of course, the true test is Genshin Impact, right? How does it perform at 60 frames per second for Genshin Impact? How well is that? Well, I ran it and I played the game for about, at least with this test I'm showing you here, was roughly around 15 to about 20, maybe 25 minutes or so. Started off at 60 FPS and it went down to about 42 frames per second, but it's very well playable, ran pretty well, shows the performance level of that Dimensity chipset. So MediaTek has been kicking it this year. I have to say it was quite impressive. So when it comes to temperatures, you're looking at something between 106 degrees to 110. Especially playing a game like Genshin Impact, which I did for about 25 minutes for this recording. So about 106 to 110, which actually is not bad for a device like this, and especially pushing those kind of specs. Now, you topple that with the 5,000 milliamp battery, and I'm looking at just the use I had today where I was able to game, go out, record photos and video, at least when I shot this, and I've dropped down to 70% battery life, which is pretty good for doing all those tasks, especially just for a single day on a device like this. Now, you've got that 67 watt charger, so you're topping up really fast on the device altogether. Now, I think overall though, this is a very compelling offering, and in terms of pricing, I can't tell you what the price is because at the time when I received this mysterious box here, I don't know how much it costs, but it's a POCO device, so which means it will be relatively priced well. And I'll leave the pricing for you in the description of this video so you can go check it out there, and also a link for you to check out the device if you are interested. Overall, I think POCO's done a really good job with devices this year. This is also a 5G device, which is the standard, I think, in 2021, and definitely makes sense. But if you have any questions or any comments about the POCO X3 GT, or you want to see some more gaming on that Dimensity chipset, let me know and I will do that on Board Gamer for you. Otherwise, guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and always enjoy your entertainment.